Welcome back to the next video. In this video, I want to talk about some concepts, of driving traffic to your online universe. So again, before we get into the actual implementation, let's understand some concepts. So the first very important concept is that on the internet, there is never a traffic generation problem. Okay, there are plenty of people on the internet right now. As you're watching this video, there are literally billions of people on the internet right now. So there's plenty of traffic buzzing by on the internet. What we're trying to do here is just capture a little bit of that traffic and just divert them over to our universe. That's really the goal. So again, that can be done as long as you have three important steps. So on your screen right now are the three important things you have to consider. Number one is picking the right audience. Number two is putting the right message in front of that audience. And then number three is backing it up with the correct offer that matches up with that message that you just put in front of them. So let's use the analogy. If you want to bear with me just for a sec, let's use the golf analogy because I love talking about golf as well. Imagine you've picked out a huge interstate on in a major city, 12 lanes, just it's rush hour, traffic's just buzzing by, there's just all these cars, and you put a golf offer, a golf message in front of them. Certainly there's going to be golfers in there, and you're going to get a certain amount, maybe a percent, maybe up to 10% at most. It'll be like, oh, hey, that's actually interesting. I like that message up on that billboard. Let me, investigate further. Now imagine taking that same message, but now we are putting it on a freeway that's jam-packed but is going to the Masters, a major golf tournament, right? Now pretty much all those people are pretty much going to be golfers or interested in golf. So now all of a sudden you can imagine your conversion rate might go from a percent or two or 10% to 90%. So that's what we mean by picking the right audience. Now, you have to put the right message in front of them as well. If you just say things like improve your game or play better golf, it's kind of like, well, that sounds good, but what do you mean? So a message like improve your driver distance by 20 yards guaranteed. Now that's a message that these people will be like, oh, hey, if you told me I can improve my driver distance by 20 yards, I'm going to at least listen to you and hear what you have to say. And then of course the last part of that is the offer. Now if you give me that message and I raise my hand, I say, yep, I'm interested, and now you put like a putting course or something behind it, well, you got me all excited about improving my driver. Now you're trying to talk to me about putting, and while putting is important, I'm ready to talk about hitting my driver better. So that's what I mean by matching it up at the end of the day. So as a musician, if you figured out that your audience, like Avril Lavigne, like people who like Avril Lavigne really like you, now put a message about Avril Lavigne. So start off on that. So if you're driving traffic from her Facebook page or her online universe, maybe give them an Avril Lavigne T-shirt or something that they'll be like, oh, I would definitely love that. And then of course back it up with an offer that talks about you and how much fans that like Avril Lavigne love your music as well, and this would be a great fit for them. So those are ways to kind of bring this into the music universe. But again, make sure the most important thing to understand is to match up all these three things. And when you do that, you're going to have high conversions, you're going to spend less money, and this whole cycle that we keep talking about is going to start clicking, and you're going to be able to drive unlimited fans to your universe for free, and even while making a little bit of money along the way. So hopefully that's making sense. The other thing I want to talk about with online marketing and this whole kind of three-step process that we've talked about is that the beautiful thing these days is we can measure down to the mouse click exactly what's working and not working. So we can pick a bunch of audiences, we can pick a bunch of messages, we can pick a bunch of offers and really see what combination is working the best. In the old school world, with old school marketing, let's say you put a newspaper ad out in the Washington Post, you're kind of spending a bunch of money and you're just hoping and praying it's going to work. And there's really not a way to track it because, people might have seen your ad in the Washington Post, but, is that really the reason they called you? Could it have been a billboard they saw or a radio, ad or something like that? And you'll never really know, versus online you can track exactly where things are coming from, and once you know that, you can really double down and increase those efforts. So we really live in a beautiful world of not only we can really refine and hone in on our audience and know exactly what works and doesn't work, but we can test this entire process along the way, and once you get it, once you figure out what combination works the best, you just kind of increase your budget there and look for other ways to, to find that combination, and you'll really start seeing some rewards. So as I keep saying, this takes a little time. It takes time to figure out, especially if you're new to this, but man, when you figure it out, it really is awesome. So again, with that, hopefully that all makes sense, and we're going to move on to the next video where we're going to talk a lot about testing. So thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.